think the first album we ever did, which is now like 15 years ago, the first Roxy record, was kind of very short to make because we did a lot of kind of pre-production, rehearsed songs, and we're on the road, you know, playing those songs to some extent before we recorded them. Since then, I tend to more or less write songs in the studio, you know, and they're never really finished. The song isn't finished till the record is finished. So they're always being changed and worked on and trying different melodies and different lyrics and different combinations of musicians, you know, because I like to, on the one hand, keep in contact with various musicians who I know work well with me and try out new people as well. So I'm always experimenting with that. Generally, you see, when I work, it's like me and the engineer and one musician maybe, which can be very interesting because you can control what you put on tape very easily. But it's sometimes good to have a few bright sparks about, and then other interesting things start to happen. A lot of the songs have kind of dance rhythms, you know. I think a lot of my favorite records by other people have been kind of dance records, and you still always hope you're going to kind of do the ultimate dance record, you know. Most of my tour life was with Roxy, and especially the early years. It was a lot of fun because it was new. You know, it was a new thing to do, to be one night in Berlin, the next night in Paris or Munich or something, and that was a whole kind of new way of living, which was very exciting for a while. But then as the pressures of being a kind of public performer grew, you know, you kind of tended to see less and less of the places you visited. So invariably you'd be in a hotel room doing interviews or something instead of being out seeing the place, you know, for yourself. So it became less enjoyable from that point of view, I think. I did a bit of picture restoration, which was kind of interesting. A lot of driving jobs. I was also driving vans and trucks about as well. And for one period, I worked as a lumberjack in Scotland, which was quite funny. That's true. And things like building sites, you know, that kind of manual work. So I did a few different things, which was quite interesting. And when I was at school, of course, I had my paper round and worked in a tailor's shop. It's all coming out now. I've never liked to make a fuss. I always like to kind of slip into the crowd, you know, and I find it easier to do that in places like New York and Paris than, say, London, I guess, yeah. You should try and vary your career as much as possible to where some of it is like very deep and obsessive, and other parts of it are more fun as well, which is what life should be. It's a rich pageant.